Hello, my little wordlings. I hope you're doing good today. I have always had a problem with summarizing my work. I've sent it out to publishers before, and I got good feedback from 2 publishers and no feedback from others, which is usually standard. Getting feedback from any publisher is rare. But to write that blurb that catches their attention, I've never been good at that. Because I self-published, I had to write my own on the back of my book. And this is what I came up with. And yes, I am reading it off of Amazon because I don't feel like going upstairs to get a copy of my book to actually read it off the back.
There y'all go. Giving me that look. Treating me like Judas. Judging me like Judy.
Which, by the way, this is the first time I've ever Googled or looked up on Amazon second-rate goddess. And it was the first hit. Usually it's never the first hit. Although when you click on my name, everything else comes up but my second book. So this is what I wrote. Why do parenting books gloss over the baby blues? Because it is not a fun topic. It also does not talk about the plethora of other emotions felt during postpartum depression. In this book, find out why Jimmy Fallon reminds me of sweet potatoes, how many medications it takes to turn a person into a human, and why babies generally suck, even when you are a mom. Cynicism and swearing run rampant in this devastating, hilarious, and yes, maybe even devastatingly hilarious journey through motherhood and postpartum depression. God, I thought I was clever as fuck when I wrote that. But anyway, so I was at a local store today called The Gory Hole. Yes, fabulous name. And they sell horror-related merchandise. And I was going through their lot of movies. And goddamn, do horror movies know how to grab your attention with what they write on the back. And we're going to read a few today that I got from there to see if it grabs our attention. So the first one is The Gorgor Girls. Now, I'll read it to you. This one sounds more like your average back of book, back of movie blurb. A vicious killer with a twisted sense of humor is butchering the girls of a go-go dancing club. As the grim death toll mounts, young reporter Nancy Weston teams up with obnoxious but dapper private investigator Abraham Gentry to try and crack the case. Nipples are snipped, faces are fried, and asses are tenderized as the Gorgor Girls hurtles towards its shocking conclusion. Now, when I read the other ones, you'll see the difference in tone. The language is in your face and shocking to a degree, but it just seems that the way it's placed and the way it's written is very generic for a slaughter movie. Which sounds really weird to say, but when you read the second part, when it's describing the short that's included with the Blu-ray, also including H.G. Lewis's 1971 Hicksploitation oddity, This Stuff'll Kill Ya, as a bonus feature. One line, and it's like it's grabbing my attention so much more than the rest of the movie. What the fuck is a Hicksploitation movie? I need to know this. I kind of like exploitation movies. Happy Women's Day, by the way.
You go, girl. You go, girl.
And I know it's bad, but I do, and Hicksploitation just sounds so freaking awesome. And using the word oddity somehow draws you in more, because it's a seldom used word, but it should be more used. Yes, I'm a writer.
How are you not embarrassed?
So, the vocabulary you choose and the overall feel of the sentence and the structure of the sentence make a difference. Now, this is a good example of how this draws you in and fits the theme of the movie. So this is called The Black Cat, and it's a movie sort of about Edgar Allan Poe. Well, he's the main character. Perversity, wrote Edgar Allan Poe, is the human thirst for self-torture. Jeffrey Combs delivers an electrifying performance as the legendary writer, driven to debt and drunken folly by a world cruelly indifferent to his poetry. But Is it his beloved wife's agonizing death by consumption, or her deranged pet feline that will soon trigger the scribe's most ghastly acts of madness? And Stuart Gordon, blah, 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 co-wrote this grisly exploration of horror fiction's dark genius, condemned to a living hell of illusion, insanity, and beyond by the Black Cat. Now, for something written in, Edgar Allan Poe's Victorian, 1800s, and the language that they use, like little words like scribe and condemned, and instead of saying crazy, insanity, drunken folly, like all these set a complete atmosphere for a movie that you haven't even watched yet, but you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. Like if you're into dark academia, this would be a movie for you, I'm pretty sure, based on this description. I guess from this one we could learn fit the atmosphere with the book. And maybe I did do that a little bit because I was overtly sarcastic on the back of my book, but not as much as I wanted to be. I also wasn't as sarcastic in the book as I wanted to be. I was so honest, it hurt.
Why? Okay.
Okay, next one. This is called Alice in Deathland. Go down the hole forever. Okay, so this is really short. A drug-fueled exploitation fairy tale. After leaving her abusive and addicted family years ago, the beautiful Alice returns only to be thrust into the middle of an upside-down wonderland of drugs and decadence as she attempts to hold on to her sanity and her life. Now, the description, great, and another exploitation film, so I got it, but a drug-fueled exploitation fairy tale. Imagine being able to put the whole theme of what you've created into one sentence. Like, would I call mine sarcastic, depressive episodes? I put, my byline is hilarious, a look into postpartum depression, or hilarious memoir of postpartum depression. Okay, that's gonna bug me. What did I actually put? Hilarious journey through postpartum depression. There we go. And I misspelled hilarious, which is not as hilarious. Mommy brain is a thing, people. We don't talk about it enough. But yeah, I can't. Well, I guess I could. It would just take me a lot longer than it probably took someone who has that level of creativity, or that's just their talent. A drug-fueled exploitation fairy tale. There you go. Now you want to watch it. Not The Naked Lady. That's just extra fun. Okay, this last one. Now, this is also a lesson in having a perfect title, which I have gotten compliments on Second Rate Goddess. I've also gotten, what does that even mean? Like, haven't you ever heard the term domestic goddess? And I don't like trying to explain it because then it sounds stupid when I explain it. But anyway, this is called Cocaine Crabs from Outer Space. Now, this is what they wrote on the back. When a couple of intergalactic space crabs land on Earth, they encounter the one thing they didn't expect. A duo of dumb frat boys force-feeding them cocaine. As it turns out, cocaine gives space crabs an overbearing impulse to kill. Their string of peculiar homicides has Detective Charlie Reese thinking that something smells fishy. Literally! But when he explains to his captain that crabs may be causing the grisly murders, he is quickly dismissed. Trying to back up his theory, Detective Reese seeks the help of sea life expert, but the best local help he can find is a pet store employee named Alex Bailey. Convinced that the detective may be onto something, the two of them find themselves teaming up in the deadly wake of coked out crabs. Now, I still haven't seen Cocaine Bear. I'm looking forward to that, but I'm looking forward to this one even more. And if you can see that fucking crab, beautiful. Now, this is a kind of a good contrast to this one because it's kind of that same deadpan, this is what the movie is about, regularity to it. However, they're picking out the parts that they know are the most ridiculous about this adventure. And it's helping sell the narrative. And presenting it in that deadpan way makes it 1,000 times better, because I know if you look on YouTube, I'm pretty sure there's got to be people who've analyzed this as to why, they have the straight man and the funny guy, and like you always need someone to kind of bounce off of. But someone has a deadpan sense of humor, almost like a British sitcom where they deliver the jokes even as though they don't know it's funny, makes it 100 times funnier. And I don't know why, and I love it. Kind of like Ryan Reynolds, except like once in a while, Ryan Reynolds, you can see in his eyes, he knows how awesome he is. So it's not always the same thing. So yes, thank you, Gory Hole, not a sponsor, because who the fuck would want to sponsor this? And I got that there too. Not my little Wolfman. So what have we learned? We've learned that sometimes if you use just the right word, it'll get the whole thing across. We've learned atmosphere makes a big difference. There's a way to summarize your whole plot into one sentence and make it awesome. And don't be afraid to deadpan if you're writing something funny. So I actually did learn something today, so I hope you did too. I hope you had a steady brain day, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.